Yes, people, welcome back to the 1894 podcast. I'm Hugh and I have Dara here with me, as always, for this Arsenal versus City preview. It's a big game. We're 17 on the bounce, going to the Emirates. Pep versus Arteta, the apprentice versus the master. I'm still not getting that right. There we go. They know each other inside out, and no doubt it will be a tough game. In our last 7 league meetings with Arsenal, we have won 7. But of course, they beat us in the FA Cup last season to knock us out, and they went on to win it, to be fair to them. So it will be a tough game. We played them before Christmas, and it was a 1-0 win. I believe Sterling scored the goal. So no doubt it will be once again a tough game. Dara, what are your thoughts going into it?
Yeah, again, very confident. It's gonna be like it's blueprint of the last few games. I'm confident. I can't see why it can come to an end here for hitting all the other teams with 3 or 4 goals.
Yeah, absolutely. The confidence should be sky high after the Everton win. I just want to talk a little bit about the injuries going into the game because we got some good news just before we recorded this that Gundogan's back in training. Aguero is obviously training and he's been involved in matchday squads for the past 2 or 3 games, but he's not warmed up or he's not played on the pitch yet. So hopefully we will see him feature, maybe get some minutes before the Champions League next Wednesday. De Bruyne played against Everton very briefly and he looked good. He looked sharp. So maybe this is a sign that he is ready to play, possibly against Arsenal, and fingers crossed for the Champions League. What are your thoughts on the injury list? Nathan Ake, of course, is back in light training. I think this is the closest we're going to get to a full squad for the season.
Yeah, obviously I've no hope for Aguero. At least for another 2 weeks, I've no hope for him. De Bruyne looks, like you said, looked sharp, looked fine when he came on. It's a risk to play him, but I think he's okay to go. Gundogan, I don't know if I'd start him, but if he does start, I won't be that wary of it. Ake, I'm happy he's coming back. It's more depth to an already deep squad, so it's good that we're on the mend. I think we had a fully fit squad for I think 10 hours it was this season. Do you remember that weird little day where we had everyone fit?
Yeah,
10 hours later, Aguero got injured.
Yeah, of course. We obviously have this sizable gap at the top of the table now. 10 points over our nearest rivals, which is United and Leicester, are the closest second and third. So I'm not too pushed about constantly putting out our strongest squad, which is something I know Pep likes to do. So I imagine he'll do it anyway. But I'm really focused on the Champions League. It's something I'd really like to see Pep put some big emphasis on and have a right go at that. So I wouldn't be too disappointed now to see De Bruyne or Gundo not start. Maybe if it started to go a bit sour in the second half or whatever, you can bring them on to give a new lease of life and obviously add what they're capable of bringing. But like I said, I'm almost in the position where because we have this bit of comfort in the Premier League, I don't feel it's necessary to start them if they're not fully fit. But I do think on the Aguero front, I know you said he's done, but there's been involved.
Not about done, but it's just it doesn't look well. It doesn't look great.
It doesn't look well, but he's been involved in 2 matchday squads, and I think Pep is trying to ease him as slowly as possible into it because we know when Aguero is fit, confident, and healthy, he is one of the best in the world. So you ease him in slowly, maybe give him 5 minutes now. Obviously, it was a big step bringing him into the matchday squad the other week, the game before Everton, and then obviously bringing him to Goodison Park as well. So bring him, I imagine he'll be brought to the Emirates on Sunday, and hopefully maybe it's a step in the right direction if he just does a warm-up before the game. I don't know, what do you think?
Yeah, exactly. If he does a warm up, then it's already looking better. But if I see him warming up before, I'm still not going to say, "Oh, he'll come on." I don't think he'll get any game time, especially with Arsenal, who could be, well, possibly they could be a tough enough opponent. But I think we'll end up being 2-0 up. We're cruising or something like that, and he could come on for 5-10 minutes, and that'd be the maximum we get out of him this weekend.
I'd be fine with that. But
I'd be
you
happy
think
with it as well,
yeah. You think the confidence going into this game will be pretty high amongst the squad, considering we are on this unbelievable run of form. 17 wins on the bounce now. We're going for 18. And to get that 18th win on the bounce is an unbelievable record, first of all. But to bring that in to the return of the Champions League, which I keep talking about because I'm so excited for it on Wednesday night, is a huge confidence boost and is maybe something that we haven't had in our recent years in the Champions League. You look back on the tough weeks we had surrounding our Champions League fixtures. And of course, last season we had the massive amount of injuries and didn't have the players really in many
and
places.
5 at the back as well. That didn't help.
5 at the back, decision making. But I think Pep has really found a system that he's very comfortable in and it's working. So why change something? Why fix something that's not broken, as they say? So yeah, the confidence should be high, particularly after that Everton win, where the performance wasn't the best, but it was by no means the worst. So the confidence should be high. We're going to put our predicted 11 up on the screen right now. Let us know if you think we should make any changes or if Pep should make any changes. We'd like to hear what you say in the comments. Stick with us for the second half now. We're going to move over to the part where we speak to an Arsenal fan, opposition fan view, get his thoughts, and we will also give our score predictions. So stay tuned. Yes, people, welcome back to the part of the show where we get the opposition fan views, my favourite time of the week, and judging by the reaction to these videos, it's yours too. So joining us today as an Arsenal fan to give his thoughts on the game on Sunday is Patrick. Patrick, thanks a million for coming on, mate. How's things with you?
No worries, lads. Good to be with you.
It's obviously a big game on Sunday, Arsenal City. It's the master versus the apprentice, is what we said in our segment, Pep versus Arteta. They know each other inside out. But the Arsenal form this season hasn't been great overall, and we're obviously 17 wins in the bounce. And in our last 7 league meetings, we've won all 7. But you, of course, knocked us out of the FA Cup last season, which was a bit of a masterclass by Arteta, in all fairness. What are your thoughts going into this game? Are you confident?
No, this fixture has obviously been very traumatizing for us in the past. I think of last season where it was 3-0. I think Kevin just destroyed us again. But yeah, no, I liked our performance in the semi-final. That showed a real tough character to get through that game, and I'm looking for a repeat of that.
Yeah, Dara gave a bit of a praise to that performance in our segment. He said Arsenal was a bit of a tough game before Christmas, wasn't it, Dara?
Yeah, before Christmas, like in the league where we won 1-0, I thought it was very. They were just they shut us out for a good bit of it, and it kind of took a bit of luck to get the goal, didn't it? I think it was like the keeper palmed it into Sterling. I think it was scored, but either way, it was like a FIFA goal. It was horrible, but I was happy we came out with the win on that one.
Yeah, and hopefully for repeating Sunday. I know you've got a question too lined up for Patrick, Dara. You've been looking forward to asking. Do you want to fire away?
Yeah, go on. Patrick, how do you think Arsenal can actually set up to win?
We have a good model against the big teams this season. I've noticed we go back to the basics of just trying to graft out results. I'm thinking of Man U away, Man U at home, getting the draw. Man City away as well wasn't bad. I felt we could have got away with a draw there. So I think it's all about character this game really, and digging in. You know, they're going to have to do rough parts of the game well. And yeah, maybe a bit of luck on the counter. Hopefully Aubameyang's back to full form. He obviously twisted his ankle against Leeds, and he came off against Benfica, which he didn't have a great game. But
Yeah,
you know, I think
big chance, didn't he?
he missed a lot of good chances against your former tosser, Otamendi, as well. Like, if we can't score a few goals against him, I think we're kind of dust already. But no, quietly confident. I think it's more of a character assessment test this game more than anything. You know, you want to see who's up for the fight, and a few players will be. I know who I'll be confident in, and I know that some will get found out again. But that's all part of the process for this season, I think.
Yeah,
exactly. That's fair enough.
I'd agree. Yeah, like you've played you've gone with a 4-back against teams. I think he's our 4-back lately, but in that win against United away, it was a 5-back. Do you think if he set up that way, if he was set up with a 5-back,
yeah,
a bit more?
I think that formation has rewarded us with some success, but I think Arteta, you know, he eventually wants to get to that similar Pep model of 4-3-3, and I think we will have to endure a bit of pain before we get, you know, to that level.
Yeah.
So I think will predict a 4 at the back again, but he could surprise me, Arteta. You know, he has worked under Pep, and Pep is known for surprising us as well with his formations. So
known for overthinking as well. So
yeah,
that's the sole reason I believe we've not won a Champions League yet. But
Yeah.
you made a good point there, Pat, about Arsenal putting in a good shift against the big teams, and that's kind of something that's confused me a little bit about Arsenal this season, because you obviously have got quite a few good players who can do the business on a big day, which they proved on many occasions. You know, you came close to getting a result against us in October, November, whatever it was. Do you think the reason you're sitting in 10th place, I suppose, right now, and not higher up the table is because it's the performances against the lower opposition aren't up to scratch?
Yeah, that's a fair assessment. I think, you know, there's still inconsistencies in this team, and you know, it was never going to be. I don't think this season was going to be a top 4 challenge from the start, and I thought, you know, we'll get to around December and there'll be just poor results, and you know, I think there is a lot of pain still to go through with this team. There's a lot of players there who I think are not up to it. I think of Bellerin at right back. I don't think sometimes when I watch him, I think he's just not technically up to the standard of the rest of the players. And but there's the bones of a good team there. And when I come away from matches, I don't think I'm not in that mindset of still all hope's lost. I'm still thinking, we've players like Saka coming up. Emile Smith Rowe is looking like a great player. The Croydon De Bruyne, I think they're calling him.
Yes, the Croydon De Bruyne, right? I want to ask you a little bit about Arsenal's attack because there's obviously plenty of players in that team who can cause damage on the day. Aubameyang, Lacazette, and Saka is a player I'm a huge fan of. And you know what? I think I'll go as far to say as I would like to see him in a City shirt. He's that good. Who do you think Arteta will rely on for the goals on Sunday? Because Aubameyang, yes, he's got a few goals recently, but I think it's fair to say overall his performance this season hasn't been fantastic.
No, and I'm especially nervous about his twisted ankle again. It didn't look good against Benfica. He was missing chances. That's usually his bread and butter. So that's obviously very worrying. But I think Lacazette might start. I think we might put Aubameyang out in the left and test those City fullbacks. I don't mind that match of Aubameyang on the left and will be Walker on the right probably.
Cancelo, I'd imagine.
Cancelo. Yeah. And then I don't mind that because I think Aubameyang can cause anyone problems on his day if it is his day. And then on the other side, I like the matchup of Saka against Zinchenko. Would it be?
Yeah.
I like that matchup all day long. So I think that's where we can mostly affect City, but obviously don't expect much out of the game. But there is little bits where I'd be like, we can't get at them.
Yeah, that's a fair point. We're going to put Patrick's predicted Arsenal starting 11 on the screen now, just while we talk about the last question I've got from him. So it's any Arsenal fans or any City fans, leave your comments below and give his predicted 11. Patrick, the final thing I want to talk about is the whole Pep versus Arteta thing, the apprentice versus the master. I keep getting that wrong. I keep getting messed with that. Either way, they know each other inside out. I've done it every time. I keep forgetting the same. But anyway, they know each other inside out, and he did manage to pull a masterclass against Pep in the FA Cup last season. We obviously go to your patch this time. Is he possible of doing it again? Because I think should Arsenal get a win on Sunday, it could be a massive, rejuvenation in terms of going forward for the rest of the season and possibly getting into that top six, which I think they need to be there every season in the top six at the very least. Is that something that plays into the mind, do you think, Pat?
It's definitely an interesting narrative, that Pep and Arteta dynamic, but I think I saw this stat actually. Pep's longest winning runs with Barcelona and Bayern Munich were both ended by Arsenal. So I'm keeping that in my back pocket as well.
Actually, never heard that before.
Just to give me a good feeling going into it. But
that's a really interesting stat, actually.
Yeah, so we'll keep that in mind. But I think that City game was a great portrayal of where the Arsenal team has progressed. You think of the soft underbelly that it's had for years, and that game really showed how Arteta's kind of eroding that away and building up a strong team capable of grinding out performances. And I'm expecting that for a performance again on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that's a fair point. As long as I know you, Pat, every time we played against each other, it's years now, you've always said you're quietly confident. The same words every time. So that brings me to the predictions. I want to get everyone's predictions for this game on Sunday. I'm very confident, and I have no reason not to be, being 17 wins the bounce. So I'm going to go with a 3-0 City. I just think we'll hit them hard, and they won't score because our defense is going to want to put in a big shift, every one of them, to secure their place for the Mönchengladbach game next Wednesday. Sarah, what are your thoughts? What's your prediction?
I'm going to go with 3-1, just based on the fact that I think they could cause us problems, but it's also to be not the same as you. I'll go with 3-1.
Fair enough. Patrick, what are you thinking, mate? You're quietly confident. What's your score prediction?
I'm going to have to agree. I'm going to have to say 3-1 loss as well.
You're the first person to ever come on the channel and not back your team for at least a draw.
Every person on and says
I'm just being realistic here, lads. This City team is a whole different beast to the one we faced last time. So
that's true. But there's so many people have come on and said, "Yeah, we'll get a draw." That as soon as the recording ends, they're like, "Nah, we're gonna get peppered." Anyway,
it'll taste all the sweeter when we win, lads.
Don't say that.
That is set up now. Nice one.
I admire your confidence. Anyway, thanks a million to Patrick for coming on. It's not the easiest thing as always to come on to an opposition fan and give your views. So yeah, massively appreciated, Patrick. And I would say
No
best
worries,
luck for the
lads.
weekend, but I'm not going to say something I don't mean. Dara, as always, thanks for your contributions. We've just hit 110 subscribers. We're on the road to 150 or 125 is one of our next targets. So if you could assist us on that, you guys at home, that'll be fantastic. Leave a like too as well and get involved. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.